It's a story of the Toronto Blue Jays 2023 season in a nutshell. It really is. You know, your pitcher has an off day, as Alek Manoah did struggle with command early on. And more often than not, that came back to hurt him. As the Jays at one point were down 4-1, they actually had a 1-0 lead thanks to a Santiago Espinal single to center field, scoring Danny Jansen and giving him a 1-0 lead. And then Manoah struggles with command in the second inning, and then they score a run. They scored 2 runs, Laureano and Bo Naylor come in to score, and then in the bottom of the 5th inning, Pinocchio, or shout out Rob for that saying, gets an RBI double, scoring Tina, Buddy in his big league debut, and he comes up big for them. And then Calhoun gets an RBI ground out, and they're up 4-1 in the 5th. And the way this Blue Jays offense has been good this series, good luck. You know what? It's crazy. I don't know if I said it in the finale against the Boston Red Sox, but it seems every series you never know what you're going to get from this Blue Jays team. I understand the Guardians pitching staff is better. It is much better than the Red Sox pitching staff, no doubt. But they had Noah Syndergaard on the hill today. They didn't have the first 3 guys who were actually pretty good arms. Noah Syndergaard had an ERA north 6 coming into today. He has not been good at all this year. And didn't he go like 5 1/3 or 5 2/3 or whatever? 5 2/3 of 1-run baseball. That just can't happen, guys. It really can't. But then the Blue Jays do what they've done all year long, right? They crawl back. They give you the fake comeback. But actually, before they had the fake comeback, in the bottom of the top of the 6th inning, I believe, they have the bases loaded and 2 out. Problem is, you have no bench bat, and you've got to use Nathan Lucas. And he hits a number down the third baseline, but of course it's right at third base. So dude just touches on third base, and the inning is over, and bases loaded 2 out, can't get anything out of it. Can't get the clutch hit. But then we go to the 7th inning, and the Blue Jays attempt to mount something. Dos Santos comes in to face Cavan Biggio, and Cavan Biggio, he's the one that hit the home run off him in game 1 of the series. Cavan Biggio gets a single to left field. Then Whit Merrifield doubles to left center. All right, and Cavan Biggio scores the 4-2 game, Whit's at second. Then Brandon Belt singles to right field, scoring Whit Merrifield. It's a 1-run ball game, and you have a guy at first and nobody out. Vladdy has a great at-bat, ends up walking. You have 2 on, nobody out. They bring in Trevor Stephan. And George Springer gets called out on strikes and gets tossed because he's arguing. Then Dalton Varsho comes in to pinch run for Brandon Belt. Matt Chapman, it's an infield single. Everybody moves up. Bases loaded, 1 out. And I know every Blue Jay fan is like, okay, for the love of God, can we do just one? I'm not asking for a slam. I'm not asking for a bases clearing double. No, the sac fly. And Alejandro Kirk puts up a good fight, but he pops up to the second baseman. He can't get anything, and then Davis Schneider strikes out, and the inning is over. This team is very allergic to getting a big hit in a big moment. It is incredible. And you knew after that the Jays wouldn't get really anything going, and I don't think they had a base runner in the 8th or 9th inning. And Class A made quick work of it. You know, it was funny, actually. I was actually working for most of it. So when I came home, obviously, they were mounting the comeback, and it didn't happen. But when I was sitting there having some food, and I was, prepared to watch the 9th inning, and they're like, all right, Varsho, Vladdy, and Paul DeJong. I'm like, what in the hell did I miss? Like, my God. But Varsho obviously pinch ran for Brandon Belt. They were clearly going for it in the 7th inning. And Springer was being ejected. They bring in Paul DeJong. So, yikes. And you knew that with Class A coming out, it was lights out at that point. And the Blue Jays, yet again, it's been the story all year long, and it will continue to be until this team can do it on a consistent basis. But let's be honest, we're almost 115, 120 games into the year, and they haven't been able to do it. What tells you in the last 40-odd games that they'll be able to do it? And not only am I frustrated about this game because you lost again against the Guardians, a team that's not very good offensively. They only scored 4 runs. The Jays scored, 7 runs total in this series. That's nuts, right? 7 runs total. The reason I'm angry is because the Seattle Mariners, who are dead to right before the trade deadline. They trade Paul Sewald, and then all of a sudden they can't lose. They've won 7 straight. They now have the exact same amount of losses the Toronto Blue Jays do. We've just played 3 more games. Luckily, we have 3 wins more, but we're only a game and a half up. And they have the tiebreak. And people are going to say, well, we've split the games against them. How does that work? I believe the next thing you look at is your interdivisional stuff. And we know the Blue Jays within the American League East. So, and it's wild. It really is. Your offense just not getting it done. And not having Kevin Kiermaier really sucks. Not having Bo Bichette royally sucks. And God forbid, Danny Jansen got hit in the hands again. And he got taken out with contusion, so we'll see what happens with Danny Jansen. But he could be out now. The offense was already thin. For God's sakes, your bottom of the lineup looked like this today. Where are we? David Schneider, who I don't think had a single hit in this series. Nothing against the guy. Great series against the Red Sox, but he went 0 for 9 in the series with 3 walks, so it's great. He had a walk today and 2 walks yesterday. But he also had 5 strikeouts. So 0 for 9 with 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. So not a good series for David Schneider. So that's your 7th hitter. Nathan Lucas, I thought this dude was in AAA. I didn't think he was around still. And Santiago Espinal, sure, Santiago had a hit and whatnot, but let's be honest, do you really trust that bottom 3 in the order? You don't. Witt had a couple hits, but it's crazy. I believe the stat also is 6 of the first 9 hitters the Jays sent to the plate got on base or had hits. But they scored 1 run. Oh, this team, man. Sure, you can sit here and try and throw positives at it like, well, you had a 5-2 road trip. That's great. You lost ground in the wild card spot with Seattle. So those type of victories, I'm good, thanks. Pitching-wise, Alec Manoah, look, let me get, what else we had? Springer had 2 hits in the game. Vladdy 1 for 4, had a ringing double. Belt 1 for 4, Chappie 1 for 4. That's about all we got. 10 hits total for the Blue Jays, 11 strikeouts and 3 walks. Alec Manoah on the hill, as I mentioned, struggled with command early on, was falling behind a lot of hitters. 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 runs, all were earned. 6 Ks, walked 3. That's the thing, he only allowed 4 hits over 4 innings. But the problem is, I believe at least 2 of those 3 walks came around to score. And you just can't have that happen. Genesis Cabrera did a good job, had a clean inning of work. Unfortunately, I think one was like an RBI ground out that came around to score when he was on the hill, but that was obviously charged to Manoah. But Cabrera did fine. Bowden Francis had a clean inning of work. Tim Mays had a clean inning, allowed a hit and had a strikeout. Jimmy Garcia, a clean inning, a strikeout. The pitching ain't the issue, man. It really isn't. The Jays have one of the best team ERAs in all of baseball since like the beginning of July. Problem is, your offense can't get the clutch hit. It's been the story all year, and it will continue to be. Jays don't have an off day. They come home, take on the Chicago Cubs starting tomorrow night. Who we got on the mound? Javier Assad, no clue who he is, for the Chicago Cubs. 53 innings pitched, got an ERA of 3.5 or 3.35. We've seen that before. We've seen that in this series, so we'll see what happens there. Jose Barrios gets the ball for the Blue Jays. Game 2, I believe, is Justin Steele, who's been phenomenal for them this year. An ERA 2.68 and 121 innings. He's been great. Chris Bassett gets the ball for the Blue Jays. His numbers on home field compared to the road is substantially different. He's much, much better on home at Rogers Center, so we'll see how that plays out. The finale of the series goes on Sunday afternoon. Jameson Taillon versus, at least scheduled right now, Hyunjin Ryu. We'll see what happens, though. For the Blue Jays, I could sit here and say you got to take 2 or 3, and you have to. Like, there's no other way of sugarcoating it. You have to. And I will sit here at the very end of this video and say one thing. Baltimore Oriole fans, I really hope some of you are here because I have one thing to say to you. Please, for the love of God, beat the snot out of the Seattle Mariners because that is where Seattle goes next. They go to Camden Yards to take on the Orioles for a 3-game set starting tomorrow night. The Orioles got to face Luis Castillo. Kyle Gibson gets the ball for the O's in Game 1. Game 2 is Cole. It's in Seattle. Damn it. Cole Irvin gets the ball for the Baltimore Orioles. I sure hope not. George Kirby gets the ball for the Mariners. Game 3 is not set right now. So we'll see what happens. But for the Baltimore Orioles, please, you win 2 of 3. We win 2 of 3. The vibes are better. Please. All right, so you know what, guys? That's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and not the game today, smack that like button. I do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if it's not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, thoughts on this game, thoughts on the Blue Jays overall. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down there, so follow up there if you guys not done so already, and I will talk to you guys Jays Vision, of course. I'll be here tomorrow night talking Game 1, stupid Apple TV game tomorrow night between the Jays and the Chicago Cubs. Jose Barrios gets the ball for the Blue Jays. Javier Assad gets the ball for the Cubbies at Rogers Center tomorrow night, 7:07 first pitch there. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and not this game, or really this series overall, because it's been painful, even the wins have, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.